Have you ever felt like air travel is this big performance where everyone just kind of knows their lines, but you? Well, from the second you walk into the airport, you're part of this really structured play. So let's dive in and decode that script, and maybe turn that routine you know so well into a journey you actually understand.
It always starts with this, doesn't it? That announcement echoing through the whole terminal. And look, it's not just background noise. It's the opening line of the whole show. It sets the stage for a trip that's governed by rules, all there for one reason: safety. And just like that, your role as a passenger has officially begun.
And that brings us to Act 1, check-in and departures. This is the moment where all those general airport rules suddenly become very personal. They're applying directly to you and your trip, right as you step up to that counter.
When you hand over your passport and you put your bag on that scale, you're doing way more than just checking in. You're basically entering into a formal agreement with the airline. You're saying, "I'll follow your rules," and they're saying, "We'll get you there safely." It's really the handshake that kicks off the whole thing.
Okay, so here's one of the first really critical rules you run into. The agent always reminds you that things like lithium batteries or power banks can't go in your checked bag. So why is that? Well, if one of those caught fire down in the cargo hold, it would be almost impossible to put out. Keeping them with you in the cabin means any problem can be spotted and dealt with right away. Makes sense, right?
All right, next up, the security checkpoint. Let's be honest, it can feel like this super stressful gauntlet. But if you think about it more like a dance, a really well-rehearsed, standardized dance that every single person has to do, it gets a lot easier to handle. It's a crucial scene in the play, all about keeping everyone safe.
The commands come at you pretty fast, but there is a clear logic to all of it. Laptops and big electronics come out because they're so dense they could hide other things in an X-ray. The liquids rule, that's there to manage potential security risks. And emptying your pockets just makes sure nothing sets off the metal detectors. Every single step is another layer of precaution.
Okay, we made it through security and we're finally on the plane. This is where the script totally shifts. The rules aren't just about airport policy anymore. Now they are federal regulations. The whole environment is officially under the command of the flight crew.
So here's the bottom line. When a flight attendant gives you an instruction, it has the full force of law behind it. From this moment until the plane lands, their #1 job is your safety, and their word is final. This is pretty much the foundational rule of being in the air.
I know, we've all heard this 1,000 times, but it is the most fundamental safety rule on any plane. Knowing how to quickly fasten, tighten, and, this is just as important, release your seatbelt is a simple skill that's absolutely non-negotiable on every flight.
This one is an absolute. There's zero tolerance for smoking of any kind, and yeah, that includes vaping. This rule is so serious that messing with a smoke detector isn't just breaking some airline policy. It's a federal crime. We're talking severe consequences.
All right, now for a rule that hopefully you will never, ever need to use. The one key detail people often miss during the oxygen mask demo is that you have to pull the mask down, sharply, towards you. That's the action that starts the oxygen flowing. And hey, don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Oxygen is still getting to you.
And this leads us to maybe the most counterintuitive but life-saving rule there is. You have to secure your own mask before you help anyone else, even your own child. See, in a low oxygen situation, you could pass out in just a few seconds. If you get your oxygen first, you're guaranteeing that you'll be conscious and actually able to help others.
Okay, listen up because this instruction is delivered with some serious emphasis for a reason. Why? Because if you inflate your vest inside the plane and water starts coming into the cabin, that vest will make you so buoyant it could pin you against the ceiling, making it impossible to get out. You only inflate it as you're leaving the aircraft. So now we're moving into Act 4, the main in-flight part of our journey. The big safety briefing is done, the tension kind of eases up, and the script shifts a bit. Now it's more about service and comfort as we cruise to our destination.
Even the meals service follows a script. You get a couple of choices, right? It's a structured little interaction that keeps the whole cabin service moving along efficiently. Beef or pasta, it's a simple, low-stakes part of the whole performance. And just like that, ding! The chime of the seatbelt sign tells you the next scene is starting. The calm of cruising is over, and we're getting into another critical phase of the flight. The script snaps right back to focusing on safety and getting ready to land.
These things aren't just for tidiness. An upright seat gives the person behind you the most room to get out in an emergency. A stowed tray table means the aisle is clear. And opening the window shades? That's so the crew and passengers can see what's happening outside, and it helps emergency crews see inside if something goes wrong.
And we've landed. But wait, the play isn't quite over yet. The final act happens on the ground as you navigate the official procedures of whatever country you've just landed in. This is the last checkpoint.
Now, a whole new set of rules comes into play, these ones governed by national law. These questions are all designed to protect the country's economy, its agriculture, and its security. Your answers here are pretty much your final lines in the script of this journey.
And there it is. The passport is stamped, and the journey is finally complete. By following that script, all the way from the first announcement to the last customs question, you've successfully navigated the super complex world of air travel. The performance is over.
So when you think about it, from keeping your seatbelt on to putting your own oxygen mask on first, every single rule is just one piece of this massive safety puzzle. It kind of makes you wonder, out of all these procedures, which one really gives you the biggest sense of security when you fly?